Hello everyone, Felix here, and now that all the members of the Battleborn's roster have been announced, I thought I'd compile them all in a relatively short video. Let's go! I'll start off with the members that hail from the generic Imperium. First off, we have Umbra, an ex-priestess of the generic Silent Sisters. Umbra now fights with the Battleborn after being betrayed by Rendain. She uses localized solar anomalies, in other words, sun powers, to heal allies and devastate her enemies. Next up, we have Atticus. Born as a lowly generic thrall, he rose through the ranks. His life was forever changed when his Imperium overseers implanted shard-powered tech through his body. This brawler uses his strength and that big mechanical arm to smash his opponents into dust. Now for Caldarius. He fought his way to becoming a champion in the generic fighting pits, which earned him a place among the Imperium's nobility. Using his JATX assault frame, this shock trooper can rain chaos from above to all his foes. Next, Deonde. Once the spy master of the generic Imperium and one of Rendain's closest advisors, Deonde now fights with the Battleborn as the spearhead of the generic rebellion. Her agility and stealth kills make her one of the deadliest assassins ever produced by the Imperium. Finally, we have Wrath. Known by fans as the Space Vampire, before Rendain's betrayal, Barad Wrath served as an elite guard to the generic Empress. Nowadays, he fights against the Varelsi, decimating enemies with his 3 swords. Now we move on to the ones that are affiliated with the United Peacekeeping Republic. We start off with Benedict. In comes the bird bomber of the Peacekeepers, raining rockets from above. Only capable of limited flight due to his left wing being crippled during the evacuation of his homeworld, Benedict is still a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. Next, Galilea. After hundreds of years of self-imposed exile on Bliss due to being warped by a corrupt agent, Galilea has joined the fight alongside the Battleborn. She holds a darkness within her that she uses as her greatest weapon and bears down on her as her greatest struggle. Next, Galt. Considered by many to be the first of the Battleborn, Captain Trevor Galt wields his revolver shotguns with a big smile on his face. Next, Montana. Don't let his intimidating size and facial hair fool you. Montana is one of the friendliest members of the Battleborn. His massive strength allows him to soak up damage and swing around his minigun to protect his allies. Lastly, we have Oscar Mike. A little odd personality-wise, Oscar Mike is a clone soldier from a long-forgotten war. With his trusty assault rifle and airstrikes, he'll do everything in his power to protect and inspire his allies, even if it's just by having them laugh at him. Next, we have everyone's favorite ragtag group, the Rogues. And we start off with Orendi. The Chaos Witch of the Battleborn, Orendi's probably more than a little bit off her rocker, but she sure is useful in a fight. Next, Reyna. The ad hoc leader of the otherwise structureless rogues, Reyna Valeria is a native to the solar system. Wielding her handgun and command glove, Reyna can shield allies and mark enemies for retribution. Now, Toby. After trying to get into the Peacekeepers and being rejected by his size and cuteness, Toby offered his services to the rogues. With them, he lets his genius do the talking and uses it to construct walking death machines that are not small or cute. Next, Shane and Aurochs. As the moody, angsty teenager of the Battleborn, Shane is not someone you want to mess with. Bonded with Aurochs, that creature that's attached to her torso, she can rip through enemies with his help. You don't want to get into this pair's bad side. Lastly, we have Whiskey Foxtrot. An early and possibly defective Mike clone, Whiskey Foxtrot is a bit odd, you might say. You can pick him out on the battlefield as the guy running around with scrap looking weaponry. Just don't let their looks fool you into getting cocky. Now for the Battleborn's tree-hugging members, the Eldred. We start off with Boulder. Boulder the Unbearable is a dwarf, native to the planet Equinor and known for his inappropriate butt theatrics. Armed with a shield and an axe, Boulder is ready to take on anyone that gets in his way. Next, Kelvin, the Ice Golem. One thing to note, he's not really one single ice golem. He's actually an entire microorganism civilization taking the shape of a giant ice golem. Being cold lovers, they can create ice and chill anything around them. Next, Melka. Born and raised in the aggressive Eldred commando group, the Vigilant, Melka is no stranger to danger. Proficient in several combat styles, her weapon of choice is the Eldred Gauntlet that is permanently fused with her left hand. Now for Miko. Miko is the last surviving member of his fungal species. Known as the Combat Botanist, Miko can heal allies one moment and turn around to fling poison-tipped kunais at the enemies the next. Finally, Thorn. Real name, Teshka Elesamorn, nickname Thorn for her short temper. Armed with her trusty longbow, Kreshek, she fights with the Battleborn, fueled by her boundless fury. Lastly, we have the rich kids on the block, the Last Light Consortium. And we start with El Dragón. Champion, show off, powerhouse. El Dragón got his arms ripped off by a rogue AI in his last big match. Now, armed with two big robotic arms, he's more than ready to pummel the Varelsi into a pulp. Next, Isaac, the ex-lead manufacturing magnus of minion robotics. Isaac went rogue and tried to make reality collapse through the use of an unthinkably complex code. Even though Cleese debugged him and he now fights for the Battleborn, he's not exactly the life of the party. Now, for Cleese. The former director of Minion Robotics pretty much looks down on everyone and doesn't like getting out of his chair to deal with inferior beings. With that in mind, he designed his own piece of combat furniture because even he knows that this is a war he has to participate in. Next, Marquise. The former butler of Phoebe, Marquise de Calibre went insane when his connection to the LLC's governing AI was lost. Now, this high society sociopath wreaks havoc in an endless pursuit of profit alongside his pet owl, Houdini. Lastly, we have Phoebe. Phoebe Elizabeth Adelia Hemsworth IV, that's a mouthful, is considered to be one of the LLC's greatest engineers. She fights alongside the Battleborn, using technology to swiftly travel along the battlefield and demolish enemies with her kinetically suspended swords. Well everyone, that's all the Battleborn. Who are you most excited for? I know I have my face picked out. As always, I'm Felix, and I'll see y'all next time.